I didn't expect the reading to take this long. I'm not sure the professor understood my question. I thought the group project would be easier. I didn't realize attendance was taken today. I'm not convinced this source is reliable. I didn't expect so much feedback on my draft. Hey, are we still meeting at the library at 4?
Uh, I was hoping so, but my last class just ran over again.
Again? That professor really likes to talk.
Yeah, and if I leave early, I'll miss the assignment explanation.
So 4 might be cutting it close.
More like impossible. I could probably get there around 5.
Hmm. That doesn't leave us much time before the library closes.
True, we could always meet online instead.
That might actually work better.
Okay, I'll message you once I'm free. So, are you ready for the hike tomorrow morning?
Well, I was, but I just checked the weather forecast.
Oh no, is it that bad?
Let's just say it doesn't look very promising.
Rain?
Heavy rain and possibly strong winds.
That doesn't sound ideal.
Not really. I mean, I don't mind a little rain, but this might be too much.
So, we should rethink the plan?
Maybe switch to something indoors instead.
Yeah, that's probably smarter.
Hey, did you take care of the room reservation for the study group?
Uh, I thought you were handling that.
I was, but then you said you'd double check it yesterday.
Right, I meant I'd check whether the room was still available, not actually book it.
Oh, that's not how I understood it.
Yeah, I probably should have been clearer.
So the room isn't reserved.
Not yet, but I can do it now if it's not too late.
The session starts in an hour.
Okay, then I'll call the front desk instead of using the website.
Good afternoon. This is an update for students planning to attend the Research Methods workshop tomorrow. The session will begin as scheduled, but the final discussion segment has been shortened to allow time for individual questions. Students who are still deciding on a research topic may find this especially helpful. Please note that printed handouts will be available, though reviewing the outline posted online beforehand is strongly recommended.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to clarify expectations regarding attendance at this Friday's guest lecture. While attendance is not mandatory, participation credit will only be given to students who remain for the entire session. The lecture will conclude with a short question and answer period, which many students have found useful in previous events. Late departures may result in incomplete credit.
Good morning. Students intending to use the study rooms in the library this afternoon should be aware that several rooms have been reserved for group tutoring sessions. Although walk-in use is still possible, availability may be limited during peak hours. Those who require a quiet space for extended study may want to consider arriving earlier or checking the online reservation system in advance.
As cities continue to grow, urban planners are increasingly concerned about how development affects local climate conditions. One common challenge is the urban heat island effect, where built-up areas become significantly warmer than surrounding rural regions. To address this issue, many cities are investing in green spaces, such as parks, green roofs, and tree-lined streets. Green spaces help cool urban environments in several ways. Trees provide shade, reducing surface temperatures, while plants release moisture into the air through a process called evapotranspiration. Together, these effects can lower local temperatures and make outdoor areas more comfortable, especially during heat waves. Beyond temperature control, urban greenery can also improve air quality. Vegetation absorbs pollutants and traps particulate matter, which can reduce respiratory problems among city residents. In addition, parks and green corridors often encourage walking and outdoor activity, contributing to both physical and mental well-being. However, the benefits of green spaces are not evenly distributed. Wealthier neighborhoods often have more access to parks and trees, while densely populated or low-income areas may lack sufficient greenery. As a result, some communities experience higher temperatures and poorer air quality than others. For this reason, environmental scientists emphasize that expanding urban green spaces is not only an environmental strategy, but also a social one. Effective climate adaptation requires considering where green infrastructure is placed and who benefits from it.
Many flowering plants depend on animals to help them reproduce. This process, known as pollination, involves the transfer of pollen from the male parts of a flower to the female parts, allowing seeds to form. While wind and water can play a role, animals such as insects, birds, and bats are among the most important pollinators. Plants have developed various strategies to attract these pollinators. Brightly colored petals and strong scents help flowers stand out in their environment. In addition, many plants produce nectar, which serves as a food reward. For example, flowers pollinated by bees often have ultraviolet patterns that guide insects toward nectar sources, even though these patterns are invisible to humans. Pollinators also benefit from this relationship. Bees, for instance, rely on pollen and nectar as major food sources. However, this interaction is not entirely equal. Some plants invest more energy in attracting pollinators, while others depend on generalist pollinators that visit many types of flowers. Environmental changes can disrupt these relationships. Habitat loss and climate shifts may reduce pollinator populations or cause plants and pollinators to become active at different times of the year. When this timing no longer matches, pollination becomes less efficient, affecting plant reproduction and ecosystem stability. Because of these connections, biologists emphasize that protecting pollinators is essential, not only for individual plant species, but also for maintaining healthy ecosystems as a whole.
One of the major challenges faced by early painters was how to represent three-dimensional space on a flat surface. Before the development of linear perspective, many artworks showed objects arranged by importance rather than by their actual position in space. As a result, figures in older paintings often appear flat or disproportionate to modern viewers. During the Renaissance, artists began to experiment with techniques that created the illusion of depth. Linear perspective was one of the most influential of these techniques. By using converging lines that meet at a single vanishing point, painters could make parallel objects appear to recede into the distance. This method allowed buildings, roads, and interiors to look more realistic. Another technique used to suggest depth is atmospheric perspective. In this approach, artists represent distant objects with lighter colors and less detail, mimicking the way the atmosphere affects how we see faraway landscapes. For example, mountains in the background of a painting may appear bluish and less defined than objects in the foreground. These techniques did more than improve realism. They also changed how viewers engaged with art. Paintings began to guide the viewer's eye through a scene, encouraging a sense of movement and spatial awareness. As a result, artists could tell more complex visual stories, using space itself as a tool for expression.